I always imagined my wedding would be perfect, not in that over-the-top, Pinterest board way, but perfect for me. The late October weather was playing along beautifully, with just enough autumn chill to justify the long sleeves of my dress. Everything was going according to plan, until my sister Ava grabbed the microphone. My name is Reagan, and I should have known better than to think I could have one day that wasn't about her. Before the happy couple has their first dance, Ava's voice rang through the speakers, her smile dazzling as always. I have a special announcement that will make this day even more magical. I felt Kaysen's hand tighten around mine. My new husband knew as well as I did that Ava never made small announcements. Louis and I, she paused for dramatic effect, one hand resting on her stomach, are expecting. The reception hall erupted in cheers. My mother, Georgia, practically leaped from her seat, tears already streaming down her face. Dad was beaming. And me? I was frozen, watching my carefully orchestrated wedding reception transform into my sister's impromptu baby shower. Can you believe it? My mother gushed, rushing past me to embrace Ava. A wedding and a baby announcement. This is the happiest day of my life. Victoria, my best friend and maid of honor, leaned close to my ear. That's weird. Didn't Ava post about doing tequila shots last weekend? The memory hit me like a splash of ice water. I'd seen those Instagram stories too. Ava, at her favorite bar, definitely not drinking like someone in their first trimester. Reagan, honey, Ava called out, waving me over. Come here, sis. You're going to be an aunt. I plastered on my best crisis management smile, the one I use for work when clients are spiraling, and walked over. Ava pulled me into a tight hug, whispering, "Isn't this amazing? Now we both have something special." That's when I caught it, the faint smell of champagne on her breath. "When are you due?" I asked, loud enough for others to hear. Ava's eyes flickered momentarily. "Early May. We're so excited." Louis, standing awkwardly nearby, looked as surprised as anyone. "Yeah, excited," he echoed, though his face told a different story. The rest of the reception became the Ava show. My first dance with Kaysen, interrupted by people congratulating my sister. The cake cutting, overshadowed by discussions of baby names. Even my father's toast somehow turned into a celebration of becoming a grandfather. "You okay?" Kaysen asked as we swayed to what was supposed to be our spotlight dance. "She's lying," I whispered back. "She's not pregnant." Kaysen's steps faltered. "Are you sure? Remember last month when she borrowed money for her emergency IUD replacement? The one mom and dad couldn't know about." "Jesus," Kaysen muttered. "Why would she?" "Because she's Ava," I said, watching my sister hold court at her table, one hand perpetually resting on her flat stomach. "And she can't stand when someone else has the spotlight." Victoria appeared at my elbow with a fresh glass of champagne. "Want me to accidentally spill this on her white dress? It's your call, bride's privilege." I shook my head, taking the champagne for myself. "No, I have a better idea." "Reagan." Victoria's tone was warning. "That's your 'I'm about to do something crazy' face." "Not crazy," I corrected, watching Ava pose for yet another photo, this one with her hand on her non-existent bump, while my mother dabbed at her eyes in the background. Strategic. I work in digital crisis management. When influencers and celebrities mess up, I'm the one who helps them navigate the fallout. I know exactly how to build someone up online and exactly how to watch them fall. "What are you thinking?" Kaysen asked, concern evident in his voice. I took a long sip of champagne, my eyes never leaving my sister. "I'm thinking it's time everyone sees the real Ava. Every lie, every manipulation, every fake story she's ever told." "That sounds like revenge," Victoria said quietly. "No," I replied, setting down my empty glass. "That sounds like karma." Later that night, after the guests had gone, and Ava had posted no fewer than 12 wedding photos, all featuring her baby announcement, I sat in my hotel room, still in my wedding dress, and created a new private Instagram account. The bio read simply, "The truth about Ava Norris." Kaysen found me there, hunched over my phone. Come to bed, Reagan. It's been a long day. It has, I agreed, but I didn't move. And tomorrow's going to be even longer. I looked up at my new husband, tears finally breaking free. She couldn't let me have one day, Kaysen. Just one day that was mine. He wrapped his arms around me, and I let myself cry. For my ruined wedding, for years of being second best, for every time I'd swallowed my feelings to keep the peace. But these would be my last tears over Ava. From now on, she'd be the one crying. You're being awfully supportive, Victoria said, eyeing me suspiciously over her coffee cup. We were sitting in my home office, a week after the wedding, surrounded by social media analytics and engagement metrics. Of course I am, I replied, clicking through Ava's latest Instagram post, a carefully staged photo of her browsing baby clothes. I'm the caring big sister who's thrilled about becoming an aunt. And the fact that you've created 3 separate spreadsheets tracking her social media activity is just sisterly devotion. I spun my laptop around to show Victoria the numbers. Look at her engagement rates. She's gained 10,000 followers since the announcement. Brands are already reaching out for sponsored maternity content. Reagan, did you know she's already signed deals with 2 baby furniture companies? I pulled up another spreadsheet. They're sending her free stuff in exchange for monthly bump updates. Victoria leaned back in her chair. This is what you do for work, isn't it? Track everything before the fall? I finished. Exactly. I've managed enough influencer scandals to know how this works. The higher they climb, the harder they crash. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Ava's having terrible morning sickness. Can you bring over some ginger tea? Perfect timing, I muttered, grabbing my keys. Want to watch a performance? 20 minutes later, we found Ava sprawled dramatically on our parents' couch, looking suspiciously well made up for someone supposedly suffering from morning sickness. I brought your favorite tea, I announced, setting the bag down, and some crackers. You're the best, Ava beamed, then quickly covered her mouth, pretending to gag. Oh God, the nausea. Mom rushed to her side. Maybe we should call the doctor. No, Ava said quickly. I mean, it's normal, right? Every pregnancy is different. Speaking of different, I said casually, I was thinking we should document everything. Your first pregnancy journey. We could start a blog, maybe do weekly updates. Ava's eyes lit up exactly as I knew they would. Really? You'd help me with that? Of course. What kind of social media expert would I be if I didn't help my baby sister share her joy with the world? Victoria coughed to hide what I suspected was a laugh. We could do a gender reveal. Mom clapped her hands excitedly. Something big, with lots of photos. Actually, I said, pulling out my tablet, I was thinking we could do something even better, a live-streamed series, following Ava's entire journey. Weekly check-ins, doctor visits, nursery planning. I watched Ava's face carefully. There it was, the tiniest flicker of panic. Live streams, she asked, her voice slightly higher than normal. It's perfect for building your brand, I assured her. Your followers will love the authenticity. I don't know if I want to share everything, Ava backpedaled. Some things should be private. Since when? Victoria muttered under her breath. I pressed on. We could start small, maybe just document your first ultrasound appointment. When is that scheduled for? Oh, Ava shifted uncomfortably. The doctor's been so busy. I'll call right now. Mom reached for her phone. Dr. Martinez always has openings for existing patients. No, Ava practically shouted. I already have one scheduled, with a new doctor, a specialist. I pulled out my phone, opening my notes app. Great. What's their name? I'll add them to the content calendar. Ava stood up suddenly. I'm feeling nauseous again. Bathroom. As she rushed out, I noticed something fall from her purse. Picking it up, I found myself staring at a receipt from a pharmacy dated 3 days ago. For tampons. Victoria peered over my shoulder. Well. Girls, Mom called from the kitchen. Help me plan the baby shower. I'm thinking we could do it at the country club. I tucked the receipt into my pocket. Coming, Mom, I have lots of ideas for that too. Later that night, I sat in my home office again, updating my private Instagram account with a photo of the receipt. The caption read, "Interesting purchase for someone who's supposedly pregnant." The real Ava. My phone rang. It was Kason. "How was Operation Support Sister?" he asked. "Productive," I replied, scrolling through years of Ava's social media history. "Did you know she faked getting into Harvard 3 years ago?" Reagan. "She posted about her acceptance, got everyone excited, then claimed she decided to pursue her true passion instead. Mom and Dad never even saw the rejection letter. Are you sure you want to do this?" I clicked on another old post. Ava, announcing she'd been scouted by a modeling agency. Another lie I'd watched everyone believe. She's been doing this our whole lives, Kason. The fake achievements, the made-up dramas, stealing everyone's big moments. Someone needs to show people who she really is. And that someone has to be you? I thought about my wedding day, about every birthday party turned into an Ava showcase, about years of being the responsible sister no one noticed. "Yes," I said firmly. "It has to be me." "Oh my God, Reagan. Look at all these gifts," Ava squealed, surrounded by packages from her Amazon baby registry. The one I'd helped her create and accidentally shared with her entire following. "Your followers are so generous," I said, snapping photos for her social media. "Should we open them on live stream?" Ava's smile faltered. "Maybe not today. I'm feeling a bit queasy." "Morning sickness again?" I asked innocently. "At 4 p.m.? It comes and goes," she mumbled, pushing aside a box of organic baby clothes. The doorbell rang, and Louis walked in, looking tired. "Ava, we need to talk." "Babe, look what everyone sent for the baby." She gestured at the mountain of gifts, but Louis wasn't smiling. "That's actually what I wanted to discuss," he said, glancing at me. "Privately." "Oh, don't mind me," I said, settling deeper into the couch. "I'm just documenting everything for the baby blog." Louis ran a hand through his hair. "Ava, my mother's asking questions. She wants to know why we haven't had a doctor's appointment yet, why there's no ultrasound pictures." "I told you I'm waiting for the specialist." "What specialist?" Louis demanded. "You won't even tell me their name." I pulled out my phone, pretending to check emails while recording every word. "You're stressing me out." Ava's voice cracked. "It's not good for the baby." "Is there even a—" "Get out," Ava screamed, tears streaming down her face. "If you don't believe in me, in us, then just get out." Louis stared at her for a long moment before turning and walking away. The door slammed behind him. Ava collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. I waited, counting silently. 1, 2, 3. "He doesn't understand," she whispered. "Nobody understands." "I'm here," I said softly. "Talk to me." Ava looked up, her mascara running. For a moment, I saw my little sister again, not the carefully curated social media personality she'd become. "Everyone expects so much," she said. "They want me to be perfect, exciting, always doing something amazing." When I posted about the baby, the likes, "Reagan, I've never had so many people interested in my life. And now you're trapped," I finished, trying to ignore the twinge of sympathy in my chest. She nodded miserably. "I didn't think it through, but now there's all these gifts, and the sponsors, and Mom's already planning the shower." "You could tell the truth." Ava laughed bitterly. "And lose everything? Mom would never forgive me. My followers would destroy me. I'd be a joke." I thought about my private Instagram account, growing steadily with evidence of Ava's deceptions, about the plan I'd set in motion, about karma. "Remember when we were kids?" Ava asked suddenly. "When I used to pretend I was a famous movie star, you made me be your paparazzi," I recalled. "I followed you around with Mom's old camera. That was real," she said quietly. "That happiness, that feeling of being special. Now everything's fake, and I don't know how to make it real anymore." My phone buzzed, Victoria calling. I ignored it. "Sometimes," Ava continued, wiping her eyes, "I look at you, and I'm so jealous. You have a real career, a husband who loves you, actual skills. All I have is followers and likes, and," she gestured at the pile of gifts, "things I don't deserve." The twist in my gut grew stronger. This wasn't how revenge was supposed to feel. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from Victoria. "Check Ava's latest post comments. People are asking questions about the timeline. It's starting." "I should clean up," Ava said, standing. "Can't let my followers see me like this, right?" As she disappeared into the bathroom, I opened Instagram. The comments were filling with doubt. Wasn't she drinking at that club 2 weeks ago? Where are the ultrasound pics? Something seems off. I had what I wanted. The cracks were showing. People were catching on. So why did victory taste so bitter? My phone buzzed one more time. Mom sending a group text. "Baby shower planning meeting tomorrow. Can't wait to celebrate our little miracle." Ava emerged from the bathroom. Makeup perfect again, phone in hand. "The baby furniture company wants weekly bump photos," she said, voice shaking. "What am I going to do?" I looked at my sister, really looked at her. Behind the filters and carefully crafted posts was a scared young woman who'd built her whole identity on being extraordinary, even if it meant lying to get there. "I'll help you figure it out," I heard myself say. "Really?" Hope flickered across her face. I nodded, even as my revenge plan screamed in protest. "Really?" But as Ava hugged me, I couldn't help wondering. Was I offering to help her face the truth? Or was I just promising to help her dig a deeper hole? Either way, we were both running out of time to decide. "You're enabling her," Victoria said, pacing around my office. "I just watched you help her stuff a pillow under her dress for that 12-week bump update photo." I minimized the window, showing my sister's soaring engagement rates. "I'm building evidence." "Are you? Because it looks like you're helping her scam thousands of people, including your parents." Before I could respond, my phone lit up with Mom's call. "Reagan, is Ava with you? She missed the prenatal yoga class I scheduled." "She wasn't feeling well," I lied smoothly. "But don't worry, I'm taking good care of her." "You're such a wonderful sister," Mom gushed. "I was just telling my book club how blessed Ava is to have you supporting her through this pregnancy." Victoria rolled her eyes dramatically as I ended the call. "Speaking of support," I said, pulling up a spreadsheet, "the baby registry fundraiser just hit $10,000. 10,000. Victoria stopped pacing. "Reagan, that's fraud." "It's evidence," I corrected. "Every donation, every gift, every sponsored post, it's all documented. When this breaks, it won't be a simple scandal. It'll be criminal." The office door opened, and Kaysen walked in, looking concerned. "Louis just called me. He's worried about Ava." "Join the club," Victoria muttered. "He says she's acting erratic, avoiding him, making excuses about doctor appointments." Kaysen sat on the edge of my desk. He asked if we knew anything. I closed my laptop. "What did you tell him?" "Nothing, but Reagan, this is getting out of hand. The country club called about the baby shower deposit, and your mom's already ordered custom party favors." My phone pinged with an Instagram notification. Ava had just posted a tearful story about pregnancy hormones, making her emotional. The comments were flooding in with support and heart emojis. "I need to go check on her," I said, standing. "You mean help her dig deeper?" Victoria challenged. I grabbed my keys. "I mean, make sure my sister hasn't completely lost her mind." I found Ava in her apartment, surrounded by pregnancy books and crying over her laptop. "I can't keep track of all the lies," she sobbed. "Someone asked me about my first trimester symptoms, and I said I had weird cravings for spicy food. But apparently, that's not even a real pregnancy thing. Ava and Louis's mom keep sending me articles about prenatal care, asking which tests I've had done. I don't even know what a nuchal translucency scan is." I sat beside her, noting how her bump pillow was slipping. "Maybe it's time to, I can't tell the truth." She grabbed my arm. "Mom's so happy. Dad's already bought a crib, and all these people who've sent gifts and money. Reagan, help me fix this." The desperation in her voice was raw, real. For once, There were no filters, no perfectly staged photos, just my little sister, terrified of her own lies. My phone buzzed. A comment notification from my anonymous account. Has anyone else noticed Ava's bump looks different in every photo? Something's not adding up. The baby showers in 3 weeks, Ava continued, wiping her eyes. Maybe I could fake a miscarriage before then. People would sympathize, right? You could help me write the announcement. Stop, I said sharply. Just stop. But you want to fake a miscarriage? Do you have any idea how that would affect women who've actually been through that trauma? Ava blinked. I didn't think. That's the problem. You never think about how your lies affect others. You just keep going, bigger and bigger, until a knock at the door cut me off. Through the window, I saw Louis standing outside. Oh God, Ava whispered, clutching her fake bump. I can't face him. Ava, Louis called. I know you're in there. We need to talk about the doctor's appointment tomorrow. I looked at my sister, at the fear in her eyes, at the mountain of lies threatening to bury her. Then I looked at my phone, at the draft post, ready to expose everything. One click, and it would all come crashing down. The evidence was overwhelming. The fake registry, the sponsored posts, the thousands of dollars in gifts and donations. I could end this right now. Please, Ava whispered. Help me. Louis knocked again, more insistent this time. I made my decision. Go clean yourself up, I told Ava. I'll handle Louis. As she disappeared into the bathroom, I opened the door to face Louis's worried expression. Is she okay? He asked immediately. I paused, the truth burning on my tongue. She's resting. Behind me, I heard Ava's muffled sobs. In my pocket, my phone buzzed with more suspicious comments. And somewhere in my conscience, a voice that sounded suspiciously like Victoria's whispered, "What are you doing?" But I just smiled at Louis and said, "Everything's fine. She'll call you later about the appointment." Another lie to protect my sister. But as I closed the door, I wondered who I was really protecting anymore. The baby shower is this weekend, Mom announced, arranging pink and blue balloons around the country club's entrance, and still no word on whether it's a boy or girl. Ava, darling, can't you give us a hint? I watched my sister freeze, her hand instinctively touching the increasingly elaborate fake bump she'd constructed. We want it to be a surprise. But the gender reveal was supposed to be the highlight of the shower. Mom's face fell. I ordered this beautiful cake that changes color when you cut it. Maybe we could do something else special instead, I interrupted, catching Ava's panicked look. Like a live ultrasound photo reveal. Ava's face went pale. No, that's too private. Mom's eyes narrowed. Come to think of it, we haven't seen any ultrasound photos at all. The silence that followed was deafening. I could practically hear Ava's heart racing. Actually, I said, pulling out my phone. Ava sent me one last week. Let me find it. You did? Ava's voice cracked. I pulled up a carefully edited ultrasound image I'd created days ago. Insurance against exactly this kind of moment. Here it is. Mom squealed with delight, but Louis, who'd been quietly arranging gift tables, walked over with a frown. I didn't know you had an ultrasound last week, he said. I thought you canceled that appointment. I rescheduled it, Ava stammered. You were busy with work, and Reagan offered to come with me. That's funny, Louis continued, his voice hardening, because I called every OBGYN in the area. None of them have you as a patient. The balloon Mom was holding slipped from her fingers and drifted to the ceiling. What do you mean, none of them? She asked. Ava. Louis stepped closer. What's going on? I watched my sister's carefully constructed world begin to crumble. Her hands trembled as she clutched her fake bump, mascara already starting to run. I can explain, she whispered. Explain what? Mom demanded. Ava, why wouldn't you be registered with a doctor when you're 5 months pregnant? Because she's not pregnant, Louis said quietly. Are you, Ava? The country club door swung open, and Victoria walked in, stopping short at the scene before her. Oh shit! Of course she's pregnant, Mom protested. Look at her. We've all seen her growing. We've been planning this shower for weeks. She's got thousands of followers tracking her journey. Mrs. Harper, Lewis cut in. When was the last time you actually saw Ava without loose clothes or that oversized coat? Ava backed away, bumping into a table of gifts. A stuffed animal toppled to the floor. Reagan, she pleaded, looking at me. Help me. I felt everyone's eyes turn to me. This was it, the moment I'd been orchestrating for weeks. The perfect public revelation of Ava's lies. But seeing her there, cornered and terrified, I hesitated. I started. Reagan knows everything, Victoria suddenly announced. She's been documenting all of it. Mom spun to face me. What is she talking about? My phone felt heavy in my pocket, loaded with evidence. The fake registry, the edited photos, the suspicious receipts, everything needed to destroy my sister's carefully crafted illusion. Show them, Victoria urged. Show them what she's been doing. Ava's eyes met mine, filled with tears, and something else, resignation. She knew I had the power to end this right now. I can't do this anymore, Ava suddenly announced, her voice shaking. She reached under her dress and pulled out the elaborate padding. Mom, Lewis, I'm so sorry. The stuffing fell to the floor with a soft thud. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. All those people who sent gifts, Lewis said, his voice hollow. The money they donated. I'll pay everyone back, Ava sobbed. I'll explain everything. Just please don't hate me. Mom sank into a nearby chair, staring at the fake bump on the floor. Why? She whispered. Why would you do this? I stepped forward, ready to share the evidence I'd gathered, ready to expose every calculated move in Ava's deception. But looking at my sister, really looking at her, I saw something I'd missed before, the same desperate need for approval I'd always felt myself. Because, I heard myself say, sometimes living up to expectations feels impossible. Victoria shot me a sharp look. This wasn't the exposure we'd planned. The shower's in 2 days, Mom said faintly. All those people coming. I'll handle it, I said, making a decision that would change everything. I'm a crisis manager. This is what I do. Ava looked at me with confusion and hope. You'll help me? Yes, I replied, deleting the draft post I'd prepared exposing her lies. But this time, we're going to tell the truth. The question was, could any of us handle what that truth would reveal about our family? You can't just cancel a baby shower with 50 guests coming tomorrow, Mom said, pacing our family living room. What will people think? They'll think whatever we tell them, I replied, typing rapidly on my laptop. That's the point of crisis management. Ava sat curled in the corner of the couch, looking smaller than I'd seen her in years. I could still fake a miscarriage. No, Lewis and I said simultaneously. Dad cleared his throat from his armchair. I don't understand. Why did you feel you needed to make this up? Because being just Ava was never enough, she burst out. Reagan's the successful one, the smart one, the one with the real career. I'm just the pretty sister with the Instagram account. That's not true, Mom protested. You're special in your own way. Really? Ava's laugh was bitter. Name one real achievement of mine you've celebrated that wasn't based on a lie. The silence that followed was devastating. See? Ava whispered. Even you can't think of anything. My fingers paused over the keyboard. I thought about all the times I'd resented Ava's spotlight, never considering how artificial that light might feel to her. The shower starts at 2 tomorrow, Victoria said, checking her phone. We need a plan. I have one, I said. We're still having the shower, but instead of it being a baby shower, it's going to be a confession. What? Ava shot up. I can't. You can, and you will. I turned my laptop to show them the draft of the statement I'd prepared. You're going to tell the truth, but we're going to control the narrative. How exactly do you control "I faked a pregnancy for attention"? Lewis asked. By making it about mental health, social media pressure, and the toxic culture of constant performance, I explained. Ava's going to admit everything. apologize sincerely, and announce she's taking steps to get help. Help? Mom frowned. What kind of help? I've already called Dr. Sanders, I said, referring to my own therapist. She's willing to take Ava on as a patient. This isn't just about the fake pregnancy. It's about why Ava felt she needed to create this fiction in the first place. And the gifts? Dad asked. The money. All being returned with personal apology notes. Victoria chimed in, holding up a stack of envelopes. I've been working on them all afternoon. Ava stood up shakily. Can I see the statement? I handed her my laptop. As she read, tears began rolling down her cheeks. This makes me sound human, she said, finally. Not just crazy or attention-seeking. Because you are human, I replied. And humans make mistakes. Some bigger than others, Louis muttered. Louis, I turned to him. You need to decide right now if you're staying or going. Because if you stay, you need to support this narrative. No angry accusations, no public recriminations. He looked at Ava for a long moment. I need some air, he said finally, and walked out. Mom started to cry. Where did we go wrong? How did we not see this coming? Maybe because we were too busy seeing what we wanted to see, Dad said quietly. In both our daughters. My phone buzzed. Another comment on Ava's latest post, questioning the authenticity of her pregnancy. The whispers were turning into shouts. We need to post the statement tonight, I said, before the rumors get worse. Tonight? Ava paled. I'm not ready. You'll never be ready, Victoria said gently. But you need to do it anyway. Ava took a deep breath, then pulled out her phone. Her fingers hovered over the screen. What if everyone hates me? Some people will, I said honestly. But others will understand, and more importantly, you'll finally be free of the lies. Will you? She looked at me pleadingly. Will you help me film it? I nodded, picking up my phone. Just speak from the heart. Tell the truth. The whole truth, she asked, glancing at our parents. I understood what she meant. The truth wasn't just about the fake pregnancy. It was about years of pressure, of feeling inadequate, of our family's complicated dynamics. The whole truth, I confirmed. It's time. Mom and Dad watched silently as I set up the lighting, positioned Ava on the couch, and started recording. Hi everyone, Ava began, her voice trembling. I need to tell you something important, something I should have told you weeks ago. As she spoke, I watched our parents' faces, saw the shock, the pain, and finally, the understanding dawn, as Ava revealed not just what she'd done, but why she'd done it. I'm sorry, she finished, tears streaming freely now. To everyone I've deceived, to my family, to myself. Tomorrow I'm facing everyone in person to apologize. And then I'm getting help to become someone I can be proud of, someone real. I stopped recording and looked at the time. In less than 24 hours, we'd face a room full of people expecting a baby shower and getting a confession instead. Are you ready for tomorrow? Victoria asked softly. Ava wiped her eyes, straightened her shoulders, and for the first time in weeks, looked truly like herself. No, she said. But I'm doing it anyway. The country club ballroom felt suffocating. Despite the high ceilings and open windows, guests filtered in, cooing over the decorations and piling gifts on the designated table. Each present felt like another brick in the wall of guilt we'd have to tear down. They're all here, Victoria whispered, checking her phone. Ava's video has over 100,000 views already. I watched my sister standing by the entrance, greeting guests with trembling hands. She'd chosen a fitted dress today. No more hiding behind fake bumps or loose clothing. Where's Louis? I asked. Haven't seen him, Victoria replied. But the comments on the video are surprisingly supportive. A lot of women sharing similar stories about social media pressure. Mom appeared beside us, clutching a glass of wine. Several people are asking about the gender reveal cake. There won't be a reveal, Mom, I reminded her gently. Just a revelation. Ava's voice cut through the growing crowd. Can I have everyone's attention, please? The room quieted. Phones came out. ready to document what they thought would be a joyous announcement. Instead, they'd witness something far more raw. "First, I want to thank you all for coming," Ava began, her voice shaking. "And I need to apologize, because I've been lying to all of you." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I moved closer to my sister, ready to support her if she faltered. "I'm not pregnant," Ava continued. "I never was. The posts, the updates, the registry, it was all fake." Gasps filled the room. Someone dropped a glass. "I know many of you sent gifts and donations," she pressed on, even as tears started falling. "Everything will be returned with my deepest apologies. But more than the material things, I need to apologize for betraying your trust." "How could you?" a voice called out. "Do you know how many people you've hurt?" "Yes," Ava replied, surprising me with her steadiness. "I do. Every comment, every like, every donation felt like another weight crushing me. But I couldn't stop, because for once in my life, people were seeing me." The back door opened, and Louis walked in quietly, standing at the edge of the crowd. "The truth is," Ava continued, "I've been living a carefully curated lie. Not just these past weeks, but for years. Always trying to be extraordinary, because being ordinary felt like failing." I saw Mom wipe away tears, Dad's arm tight around her shoulders. "Social media made it easy to fake perfection," Ava said, "to create a life that looked amazing from the outside. But inside, I was drowning in lies, desperate for validation I couldn't give myself." "So you decided to fake a pregnancy?" someone asked incredulously. "No," Ava shook her head. "I decided to fake being happy. The pregnancy was just the biggest lie in a long string of them. And I'm done lying." She pulled out her phone, opened Instagram, and held it up for everyone to see. "Right now, I'm deleting my influencer account. All the sponsored posts, all the fake achievements, all gone. I'm starting therapy tomorrow, learning to be real instead of just looking real." Her finger hovered over the delete button. The room held its breath. "Wait," Louis's voice cut through the tension. He walked forward, stopping in front of Ava. "Are you doing this for you or for them?" Ava looked at him, really looked at him, perhaps for the first time in months. "For me," she said firmly. "I want to be someone who doesn't need likes to feel worthy." Louis nodded slowly. "Then I'm staying." "Even after everything?" "Even after everything." Ava pressed delete. The account that had consumed her life disappeared in an instant. "I know this isn't the baby shower you expected," she addressed the crowd again, "and I understand if you can't forgive me, but I hope my story can help someone else who's struggling with the pressure to be perfect." Silence filled the room. Then, from the back, someone started clapping. Others joined in, not in celebration, but in acknowledgement of raw honesty. I stepped forward, taking Ava's hand. "The gifts will be returned tomorrow," I announced, "and any donations will be refunded by the end of the week." Actually, a woman spoke up, one of Mom's book club friends. "Could you donate my gift to the women's shelter instead? They always need baby supplies." Others began nodding, murmuring agreement. "We'll coordinate the donations," Victoria offered, already making notes on her phone. Gradually, people began approaching Ava, not to condemn, but to share. Stories of their own social media struggles, of pressure to perform, of lies they'd lived. "You did it," I whispered to my sister. She squeezed my hand. "No, we did it. I couldn't have faced this alone." "You're not alone," Louis said, taking her other hand. "Not anymore." As the crowd mingled, sharing stories and tears, Mom and Dad joined us. "We need to talk," Dad said, "as a family, about everything." Ava nodded. "No more pretending." "No more pretending," Mom agreed, pulling both her daughters into a hug. The baby shower had become something else entirely, not a celebration of new life, but of rebirth. And looking at my sister, stripped of filters and fakery, I saw something I'd missed before. She was finally, truly beginning to glow. "Ready for your first day?" I asked, watching Ava adjust her name badge in the office bathroom mirror. As ready as I'll ever be, she replied, smoothing down her blazer. Thanks for helping me get this job. Hey, our crisis management firm needs good social media coordinators. Just try not to fake any client pregnancies. She laughed. A real laugh, not the practiced giggle from her influencer days. One identity crisis per lifetime is enough. Thanks. Victoria poked her head in. Staff meeting in 5. The new client's waiting. Walking into the conference room, I watched Ava take her seat beside me, opening a fresh notebook. No phone in sight. Part of her ongoing digital detox. Before we start, our director announced, I want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Yes, Ava is Reagan's sister. Yes, she's the one from that viral confession video. And yes, that's exactly why we hired her. Who better to help clients navigate social media scandals than someone who's lived through one? Ava blushed, but held her head high. 3 months of therapy had given her a different kind of confidence, quieter, but more real. Speaking of scandals, Victoria pulled up a presentation. Our new client is dealing with. The conference room door burst open. Mom stood there looking flustered. Sorry to interrupt, she said, but this couldn't wait. She thrust a paper toward Ava. Look what came in the mail. Ava read it, her eyes widening. I got accepted. To the journalism program? Full scholarship. Mom beamed. The admissions board was particularly impressed by your personal essay about social media ethics and accountability. The room erupted in congratulations. I felt my throat tighten with unexpected emotion. Mom, I said quietly, you never burst into my office when I got my crisis management certification. The room went silent. Mom's smile faltered. You're right, she said slowly. I didn't. Because I always expected you to succeed, Reagan. You were the reliable one, the achiever. I never worried about you. Maybe you should have, I replied. Maybe we both needed you to worry sometimes. Ava reached for my hand under the table. I'm not the only one who's been in therapy, am I? I squeezed her hand back. Let's just say Dr. Sanders has been busy with both Norris sisters. Girls, Mom said, pulling up a chair, apparently forgetting this was a business meeting. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how I treated you both. Ava, I enabled your need for attention because I was afraid you'd fail otherwise. And Reagan, I neglected your need for validation because I assumed you didn't need it. Mrs. Harper, our director interrupted gently. Perhaps this conversation. No, I said firmly. This needs to happen right here because everyone in this room has seen our family's mess play out online. They should see the cleanup too. Victoria started recording on her phone. For the case studies, she whispered. I'm proud of both of you, Mom continued. Not for what you achieve, but for who you are. Ava, your honesty in facing your mistakes. Reagan, your strength in supporting your sister even when you wanted revenge. You knew about that? I asked, surprised. Please, Mom smiled. I raised you both. You think I didn't see your anonymous Instagram account gathering evidence? Ava turned to me. You really deleted all of it? The night you decided to tell the truth, I confirmed. Because that took more courage than my revenge ever could. Speaking of courage, Victoria interjected. Louis wanted me to remind you about dinner tonight. Something about a special announcement. Ava twisted her hands nervously. He's taking me to meet his family. For real this time. No fake stories, no filtered photos. Just me. They'll love you, I assured her. Maybe, she shrugged. But more importantly, I like who I am now. Most days, anyway. Mom stood up, finally remembering this was a workplace. I should go. But dinner Sunday, both of you, your father's cooking. Dad's cooking. Ava and I exchanged alarmed looks. Maybe we should stick to takeout. The laughter that followed felt genuine, unforced. As Mom left and our meeting resumed, I watched Ava take notes, ask questions, engage with our team, without once reaching for her phone to document the moment. Later, as we grabbed coffee from the break room, she turned to me. You know what's weird? I have fewer followers now than ever, but I've never felt more seen. That's because people are finally seeing you, not your highlight reel. Including you? She asked softly. I thought about my wedding day, about the months of plotting revenge, about the moment I chose truth over retribution. Especially me, I replied. Though I still think you owe me a drama-free wedding do-over. Deal, she grinned. But this time, I promise, no announcements, no stealing the spotlight, and definitely no fake babies. I'll drink to that, Victoria peered with 3 coffee cups. To the Norris sisters, finally keeping it real. We clinked our paper cups together, leaving lipstick marks and laughter in the quiet of the break room. Outside, life continued its messy, unfiltered way, but for once, neither of us felt the need to perfect it.